Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.
Welcome, Rebels! We are back with more chaos. I hope you are ready. 2 hour debauchery is ready to roll. Plenty to get into, guys. NFL, NBA. There's always NFL talk to be had. Always. Always, always, always. So we're getting into that. The NBA playoffs are getting it in, playing games. We got the real games. Whose fault is it in LA? The big debate running around, all these talking heads. Oh man, are we going to have some fun? We got NHL hockey. And guess what else is going on? There's a thing called baseball. And there's a dude out here, and he's kind of taking it old school. And you'll see what I'm talking about when we get into some of that and a whole lot more, including Scrappy's story time. Yes, I'm going to have a little story time with my dumbass, so he only can imagine what that's going to be. So without further ado, let's do the do we do at DSR2. I am Scrappy, and here is your host, the man, the myth, the legend, Johnny the Moose.
Hey, we're back here for another edition of DSR2 on this rather, I don't know, weird Wednesday here. It wasn't cold. It wasn't great on there. It was cloudy and overcast, rain and wind. But, lots here to talk about, as we said. We got the NBA play-in games going on there right now. We had first round last night on there, so we'll get into that. Also, we got the NHL season wrapping up here down the line. We got MLB starting up on there also. And again, as we said, there's always NFL action here to talk about. And we'll get more and more on there, as we say. And finally, Dan Snyder might have done something where the NFL might finally have had enough.
Yes.
And it's not being because they're morally conscious or anything. It's
No, their pocketbook got messed with.
He took money out of their pocketbooks,
Yes.
and they're not happy.
They are not happy. You can be a misogynistic ass. You can say gross and disgusting things. You can treat people horribly and mess up their careers. You can do all kinds of things to fans, and you can say stuff publicly, and you can be a total DB in every aspect of your life. But damn it, if you take a single penny from us, you're donezo.
That's right.
And that's what we have here. NFL all of a sudden acting like they're doing the right thing or something.
Yeah, took money from them, and now he's in trouble with the feds on top of it because of that.
Well, yeah. I mean, when you start
Cooking books.
yeah, you're cooking the books. You're dealing with certain digits here, man. Once you get over a certain digit, man, you don't want to, 6 figures is good when it's legit, not when it's
Should have been 7.
yeah, not when it's all messed up and you're doing going the other way with it. So, yeah, there's definitely a criminal offense being committed there. So, what do you want? It is what it is. But let's not get it twisted on the NFL's motivation here. They
No, you're not being altruistic.
no. Well, the other thing about it, Moose, is, and we'll get into it maybe a little bit more as we go, but just to tip my hand a little bit, they, they have all that stuff going with the emails and all that. And you know what? They want it to all go away, but they need to off some people. And the only way that you can do it is by offing them in another way, right? Because they can't. You don't want you
don't want disclosure to show up on everything else that
you can't plead the fifth in the court of public opinion.
No,
it does not work. You know what I'm saying? So like you can't. So you just don't. There's cans of worms you're just not opening.
Yes.
So if you can get them somewhere else and open a can of worms that you're not. That there's no worms in there that are yours, then you're good. And that's what the NFL is doing here. If that makes sense to anybody out there, and if you listen to us and it makes sense, then I don't know if that's an indictment on us or you or what. I don't know, but it's transparent to me. It just seems super obvious.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe I'm falling into the conspiracy theorist kind of role, but I don't think so on this one. So
no, they got him, and then they're going to use this to get rid of him.
Yeah, no,
and you know what? And I bet you any Washington Foot Commander fan is not going to shed a tear on this one.
Absolutely not.
They're going to say, "Can I help pack his bags?"
Well, and that's kind of the thing. Like, I think people are like, and that's the other part of this, right? The NFL gets off scot-free on this because they're like, yeah, I don't care why they're getting rid of him as long as he's gone.
Right.
So, like, yeah, okay, bye. And so, okay, I get that, and I'm with that. But are we just going to forget about all that other stuff?
They want you to.
Yeah, I know they want you to. Oh, yeah, they definitely want you to. That's unbelievable.
If you're a good reporter and you have access and dig up on stuff on there, yes, we don't want you to give up on it.
Yeah.
Because good. Why? Because it makes for good radio.
It does. Like anything you can find. I mean, granted we take a little bit of during the dog days of summer, but like anything you can give us is good at any point in time.
Yes.
We like the topical, even if I come back and cover it in the Midsummer Spectacular, please, by all means, be a 12-month sport. I'm all good with it.
Absolutely. Yeah. We'll get into that on there. And as we said, 2 weeks from tomorrow will be our annual Draft Day Spectacular.
Yeah.
Join us for the 4th straight year.
Yeah. Yep.
We'll have the draft live with us on a Thursday.
Yeah. So it tends to go a touch longer. But that's we're hanging out. It's super relaxed. We're a much more chill setup. So what we'll basically do, it's like Mystery Science Theater 5000 for NFL nerds.
Yes.
And Moose has got great insight on what his thoughts are on why and who's picking where, and usually do pretty damn good. Last year you were
I was okay last year. 2 years ago I was on fire.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when I hit like 10 to 13 in a row.
Right.
On there. So that was with it. So we'll get into the fun of that. And as we said is pull up your favorite adult beverage. Yep. And if you got a cigar, bring us light up a cigar. We will.
Yeah, that's what we'll be doing. That's kind of how I said, yeah, it's very casual, laid back, a little bit of a different format from what we do. And we're just going to have beverages and we're going to be in and out, but we're going to keep the draft on and we're going to continue to talk. So yeah, it'll be a little bit different. We won't take our typical break. Like if we need to get up and get something, we're just going to get up and get something. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just going to be a little bit of a different feel. And and you guys will enjoy the draft together. So that'll be in place of our normal Wednesday show. We'll do that on a Thursday, so that's in a couple of weeks. So stay tuned for that. It's always super fun, and I can't wait till we get to do it like guerrilla radio style.
That's right. And again, 2024, the draft will be
Yes.
here, and we're going to do his darndest to do it guerrilla style.
Yeah, we're definitely going to try to, one way or another, we'll make it happen, because as far as I'm concerned, we can pre-tape a lot of stuff, and while we're there, you
Yes.
know, guerrilla radio, tape it. Even if I couldn't get live and get it out clean, I could definitely tape it and put it out immediately after. So, but we want to do it guerrilla style. We want to have more fun with it. I think it'd be more fun live. So we really want to get it in like that. Or, you know, it's like a draft watch party situation, but we're actually at the draft. I think that would be fun. So.
Yes.
Anyway.
And who knows? Maybe somebody will actually see us and give us a job.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, so I was looking into all that stuff, dude, and like, you know, to get in the door, it's pretty wild, man. Like the radio life is wild. Like, unless you take the route of a professional athlete or something like that, if you take the traditional, go to college, do the internship, get a radio, you know, get on somewhere, on a station somewhere, you know, move your way up, whatever. If you do it that way, it's rough go. I got a friend that went do it, and you don't make a whole lot of money, but you work a ton of hours.
Yeah.
You can't even make a livable wage you start, really. And there's just a lot of dues to be paid. And yes, I would love to be able to like skip the line. I think we're way above and beyond what a lot of cats put out there as far as being having a content and whatever. And we let it loose here because we're on YouTube and our website and other places. It's a podcast. We can let loose here. But we used to be buttoned up all the time. We were buttoned up 24/7. So, yeah, I think if we, I was thinking about some potential contacts that I have, and if we maybe we button up the podcast for a little bit so I can make some highlight reels, and then I might be able to push that, and that would be a great place to be able to say, here, take this bump drive and play this.
Right.
Know, and maybe I could, you know, because there'll definitely be local contacts down there. And our market's busy and it's thirsty for talent because
Oh, God, it's terrible here.
it's horrible.
I mean, considering back in the day when we had 2 sports stations on there, we were legit.
Yeah. Here, when the Detroit is a great market. It's just sports talk has gotten really bad here. And, you know, I don't want to knock anybody because I respect what everybody does here in our market, and these guys are talented and they did work hard to get where they're at. But like, some of the stuff is just rough. It's just rough. It's hard to listen to. I have to listen to national. I can't listen to anything
I can't.
local.
I mean, it's more. I'm just switching like more podcast stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I'm using the Odyssey app, and you can basically catch any net channel like on that.
Yeah.
Between Odyssey and TuneIn, you can catch any channel, any streaming wherever you want. So there's no need to put up with that goofiness. So I just I ain't even down with all that.
No.
So it's just is what it is. I just think that there's a lot more people out there that can do this thing, and they need to explore it. I think the sports talk sports is huge here. There's a lot of stuff that they could do, and they just haven't taken advantage of it. So that's my biggest problem with our market. Is not that these guys, I don't want to talk trash about anybody. They know what they're doing. They've been around, whatever. I don't like some of their takes. I think some of these guys have gotten in their own heads and think they're better than they are. I think things got a little crazy when it comes to that. But I would definitely want to get in the mix, right? Like,
Yes.
I think we could definitely hold our own. So, and I think we'd bring different and probably better content. For depending on how you look at things, what you're into, But yeah, yuck. As far as what we're getting here locally, it's just like, ugh. Anyway. So NFL always trying to do, stay in the news, but there's plenty to get into, man. We've got the NBA playoffs are getting thick into it. The NHL's going to be right around the corner here, and but Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
This Stephen Kwan character, as I would call him, playing like this old school baseball. Like, this guy thinks that like getting on base has value in this game now.
Right.
He's like playing like it's 1982. And he's getting on, but I mean, I'd love to see more of this kind of thing. We were talking about the throwback with what's his name last year, pitching and hitting and doing all his
Ohtani
doing his thing. And now you got this Stephen Kwan dude, and what was he on? Like, he's on base like 15.
Yeah. He's 10 for 15 at bat for hits.
Right.
And he has also 7 walks.
Yeah.
So he's roughly, I mean, his ridiculous. He's hit, like, his on-base percentage is something ridiculous, like around 700. So then his batting average is still 667.
It's insane.
But yeah, I mean, it's basically, you look on there getting on base, he's, again with it, but the walks and everything with it. And again, part of it with the walks and that is, it is with the analytics and that, because they want you to get on base and that, but, stealing the bases and playing a little bit of small ball. I liked it. Again, if you look at like, the 82 Cardinals and the 85 Cardinals, I mean, they had the entire outfield combined for something ridiculous, like 150 stolen bases. It was ridiculous. I mean, you had speed. And I kind of almost wish the Tigers would have done that, especially the original configuration of Comerica was built to be the 82 Cardinals. You get speed in the outfield, guys get in the gaps, get doubles, steal bases, do whatever you got to do on there. But again, unfortunately, the analytics taking away the whole stolen base aspect of the game now.
Right.
It's get on base, get some runs in, get your swing trajectory, and get home runs. Who cares if you strike out 180 times? Which is ridiculous. I don't think Tony Gwynn struck out 180 times in his entire career.
Right.
Much less a season. I mean, Teddy fucking ball game would have a fucking conniption, man. Oh yeah, I shot 180 times. And you're still in the big leagues?
Right.
I haven't struck out 180 times in my fucking career. On there. But I like that on with it. I like a little bit of the small ball, and I'm with it on there getting on base. I mean, that's all it was. I mean, I like guys on there.
I like that. I like watching guys that can play, both sides of the ball, like you got to see with Oni. I like all of that stuff. Now, look, do you like a home run? Yeah, but to sit and watch, I want movement.
Yes.
We're talking about a game that is dying on the vine, Moose. We've talked about this week in and week out about how this game is dying on the vine, and you need some kind of action. You need some kind of stuff. Why are we not promoting and pushing this kind of play in the game? Analytics, if you're breaking it down, if analytics is why cats aren't moving the ball around and we're not seeing that movement, then analytics is ball.
Yes.
Because it's kind of crazy to say that, but it essentially is. If everybody's just swinging for the fences and they strike out 1,000,001 times, like, I don't want to watch that. And some of these games become unwatchable because of that.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like some great pitching performance. You're just watching dudes swing at everything. And it's like, dude, that guy didn't see a pitch he didn't like. Jesus.
Yeah. I mean,
and that's kind of where I'm at with it. It's like, we can't. No.
I don't want 4-hour games. I don't want on this. I want, again, a good game, a good pace game, 2.5 to 3 hours, 2.5 hours to 3 hours. I don't know. I like, again, a pitcher's
The game's up to like 3:13 or something.
Right. They said over the weekend, the Tigers got blown out on Sunday. They gave up 10 runs in that. Still, that game was at 2 hours and 56 minutes. I can, you know what? That's fine. I mean, with it,
Right.
I like a faster pace on there. Again,
Yeah.
a good pitcher's duel. I mean, I remember going years and years ago when I had the season, the game package at Comera, and the Tigers were playing the Yankees, and it was Matt Minor was. He had the game was over in 2 hours and 12 minutes.
Right.
He pitched a gem. He gave up 2 hits, no runs, and they won 2-0. It was a great game.
Right.
It was a phenomenal game to watch. I mean, it was for Friday night. You have to wait an hour to get enough so they could do the fireworks because the game was over when it was still light out.
Right.
Which, again, I enjoy a fast pace.
Yeah,
I
me
enjoy
too.
pitching duels
Yeah.
with it. I enjoy a fast-paced game. You know what? A game could be a 4-3 game and moving at a good pace. Fine, great. It could be a 2-1 and it's 4 hours and you go, God, it's like watching paint dry.
Yep.
And I don't want to see, it's all fun and everything to see an occasional 10-9 game, but I don't want to see that every game.
No, we had a 9-7 game with the Tigers today.
Yeah, they were down
9-2
9-2 when they came back on there with it and on there. And people are panicking. Oh, my God, they're 2-4. I'm like, again, it's the first week of the season.
Yeah.
Chill out.
Yeah, with the shortened spring training situation,
Right.
It's gonna take a minute to kind of get into it. It's how they build up, right?
Right.
So,
And especially you're hearing everybody on the social media and the radio, everybody's losing their mind because today Clayton Kershaw pitches 7 innings, perfect ball. Goes in there and basically it says him and the manager decide, you know what, with the weather conditions, didn't have really a spring training. I'm at 80 pitches. I'm done.
Yeah.
And my arms, again, it's not, again, I'm not like I'm mid-June and my arm is in peak condition. I only had probably 4 starts in spring ball.
yeah, my take on it is, and I don't want to sound.
And with the wind chill, it was 30. It wasn't even 30 degrees in Minneapolis today.
Right.
Dude, no way. I'm not rating him out there to pitch 120 pitches so he can get that perfect game. If he's okay with it and we're up 7-0, the hell with it.
Yeah. Well, this is my take on it too, Moose, and it's not to get, not to be inconsistent, because we always want to see that old school ball where cats play long, they play both sides of the ball, they go out there and do their thing. I want to see my pitchers pitch, but to your point, with no spring, you're pitching in this isn't, like you said, this isn't something where they've had a full spring training. They're pitching in good weather, or this is a game that really means something, and there's a little something more going on. It's just early in the year to really have a catastrophic injury or something when there's just no need for it. There's just
Right.
no need for it. And look, I get it. I want my pitchers to pitch, but I want them to pitch all year too.
Right.
And I want to make a little bit of sense when I do what I do. So I totally get it, but I'm with you, Moose. To your point, throwing more than you have to without the spring training warm up and then the physical warm up. I mean, 36 is not ideal pitching weather.
No.
You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, it's different if it's June and it's 70 degrees and you're pitching. You know what Kershaw's saying? I'm good to go, man. I'm just getting lathered up.
right.
But second start of the season and it's 30 degrees outside with the wind chill? Oh, hell no.
Right.
Again, baseball. Hey, there's teams that are down south or out west that you can play. Why is the Dodgers at Minnesota playing right now in mid-April? First of all, why does Minnesota have an open-air stadium and not a damn retractable dome is beyond me.
Right.
Because, again, what are you warm, 6 weeks of the season? Last week of June through the first week of August, and then it turns to shit?
Yeah, I mean, basically.
It's Minnesota. Come on.
Yeah.
With it. So, these people clowns. Oh, they're soft. Shut up. Stop it. I'm really getting tired of the trolls out there on all aspects. And there's certain, especially locally guys, there's certain guys on there that just, I'm like, dude, the trolling is getting stale.
That's my thing. It's like sometimes people just say stuff to get you riled up. They don't really have a take that means anything, and they're not really even passionate about it other than, like you said, it's like a troll job. And like I said, I don't know why we've got an epidemic of that, why that's kind of turned into that. You have basically hot take, hey, there, a hot take guy, like he's doing the morning zoo crew shit, and then or you've got these guys that we've got the gambling, degenerate bullshit where it's just strictly odds and numbers and against this and that. Look, okay, so let me get this straight. The station, the shows, everything is done and run and operated by BetQL or whatever. And they have an app, and you can bet all this stuff, and you can win money off of the games and whatever. And they are giving you insider tips on which way to go. Do you think they're really giving you good information? Here, let me tell you how you take my money when it comes to that stuff. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That people that radio exists blows me away. The fact that we have a sports talk wasted its entire existence on this crap is the problem. And then you got guys working shows for that like, they've got the charisma and personality of a houseplant.
Yes.
Dude, what's that? So you're not even making me interested in this stuff.
No.
So it's like you're not even making this thing like fun. So and then, and other than that, we got hot takers and trolls. This is a great market, and to have that going on right now. I remember at one point we had like 4 sports talk stations. You had a ton of talent in town. And with that real competition, these cats didn't do all this, didn't have all these stupid topics and talk trash about people that are, investing their time into listening to the program. And,
right.
It's like, what are we doing here? So I don't know. I don't quite get it. But, and then it's so crazy here that our, I don't know. How do our sports talk guys turn, start a war between the stations and the sports teams? I mean, like that happened here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like the Lions got up and left the station over one of their fucking, hey, check out me, I'm awesome, guys.
Right. He's bigger than the sport.
Right.
No,
it's like, come on, man. Like, the whole thing is just clown show, dude. I don't get it because it's a great market. We had some awesome tandems in this market at one point.
Oh, yeah.
Not really that long ago.
We had some great, there was some great lineups there. Especially in the old days. In that late 90s period, man, it was just like, holy God. There was certain guys under you just had to listen to under, especially at a Lions game. There was a certain individual that you had to listen to because you knew there was going to be a rant of epic proportions if it was an absolute boondock.
Well, you knew it would be for the most part.
You go, oh, please, on there. There were groups of guys on there. With it, they were great.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like here locally, we've lost, Drew Sharp, Boudini, which I love listening to him because he pick on everybody. Yeah, but it wasn't trouble. That's just who Boudini was.
Yeah,
if you read his articles, yes, he hated the Big Ten, even though he went to Michigan. Right. He hated Michigan. He loved picking on them.
Right.
And he said so on there. But then again, as if you ask him, who do you credit your learning your journalistic honor? Was U of M your degree? He goes, no, it was the Michigan Union newspaper. I learned more about being a newspaper man from that student newspaper.
Oh, sure.
And he says it's one of the best student newspapers in the damn country with it. So he says, hey, that's where I learned my craft with it. So I love listening to Boudini. Terry Foster in the day, man. Was just like, especially when it was him and Regner was just butter.
Yeah. Yeah, T-Fox kept a lot of this stuff on the rails for a long time, and you could see when he left how much he really kind of did keep everything together.
Yes.
After he left, that particular station and that format fell apart, and it was pretty fast. It was pretty obvious.
Yep.
He was one of them. Killer Kowalski back in the day.
Yes. Again, Kowalski with Belizean was great. But Regner.
Belizean's on the west side of the state, and you still see him on ESPN every once in a while.
Well, he pops up. He's doing a lot of stuff now for WJR now. He's running all their sports there, but they're not really. He's just covering, kind of holding down the fort to that. But,
right.
With there. But, Belizean and Killer was just great.
Yeah, I love it.
Again, Killer had a nice personality. Dude knows more about pro football than we'll ever know. He
Yeah.
forgot more about pro football than we'll ever know.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
With there, but yeah, I mean, again, Regner covering hockey. I mean, you know, during the playoffs, under what you need me on here for 6 straight hours? Fine, so be it.
Right.
And he's on there 6 straight hours taking calls and everything with it. And it was a great market. Unfortunately, is the current market is
it's just not very good.
Oh, it's terrible on the most part.
Yeah, it really is.
You see snippets, you know, okay, I like him. I was like, what the hell? Overall, it's just, again, as you said, the hot take and gambling degenerates radio.
Yep, and it's too much.
So we got the draft coming up in a couple weeks, as we said as well on there. And the good news is all the draft and the mock, the craziness of the silly season, as we say, the mock drafts on there is starting to at least kind of cleaning out the garbage on there. It looks like the Lions are not going to be taking a quarterback on there. Even we're not taking the quarterback at number 2. Thank God.
Well, duh.
But then you got freaking Angry Bird saying we're going to take Sauce Gardner from Cincinnati at the number 2 spot. Another cornerback. No, we're not taking a cornerback at number 2.
He's not the only one I've seen that had a cornerback at number 2, and No, take an edge rusher, defensive end. Don't.
There's too many. There's 3 edge rushers that could be taken at number 2.
Yeah.
Even if Jacksonville takes the Hutchinson, then you're still looking at Walker and Thibodeau.
Yes.
Plain and simple. You can't. I mean, again,
because Walker will go 3 if you don't pick him.
Right. So, and again, if Hutchinson, you got your choice of Hutchinson, Thibodeau, and Walker. I don't think they're going to go after. It's going to be Hutchinson or Thibodeau on there. And especially when Thibodeau was in town. I think yesterday he was in town meeting with the Lions, and his pro day was really with it. So I think the Lions are, we'll see on there. And I'm still not buying still taking a defensive end. I think they're still going to go after an offensive lineman because they got to keep their investment protected.
I think that's what I would want to do. But,
and again, as I say, there's not a quarterback in this draft that I would take it in the first 3 rounds.
No, I know. And I you know what? And I'm willing to bet that there'll probably be one taken in the first 15 to 18 picks.
Oh, yeah. I would say almost guaranteed in the first 10.
It's so crazy.
Who's going to jump on there? I mean,
I don't think there's a first rounder, but you're going to get one in the top 15.
You'll have 3 quarterbacks taken in the first. Guarantee it. Because somebody's going to overreach. There'll be a quarterback taken in the first 10. Teams that need a quarterback under. Carolina at number 6, Atlanta at number 8, and Seattle at number 9.
Ugh.
All 3 need a quarterback.
Yeah.
All 3 will probably back. I would not take a quarterback.
Isn't Jimmy Garoppolo still? Why is anybody drafting?
Baker Mayfield's still sitting out there, and he's pissed off. He goes, they lied to me. They told me they were going to do one or another, and he's pissed off. Again, I'm not trading for Mayfield because you know why? Cleveland's going to cut him.
Right.
We're going to cut him. I'll take Mayfield here for honor and see what happens.
All right. Well, that's one of those things where it's like, so I'm not going to draft a quarterback if I think that's going to be the move I'm going to make. But I think that makes more sense for Detroit just because you've got Goff if that doesn't work out. And you can kind of do that on the down low.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, I mean, you look on there, and there's craziness on there. The Lions actually made a signing today, free agent-wise. Safety from Baltimore. 1-year deal, prove it, kind of a prove it contract. And everybody's bitching and moaning here, at least locally, on there. Oh, the Lions haven't done squat on free agent wise. I think everything they've done is strategic. We're not going to sign anybody who's super long term. We'll re-sign the guys on there that we think on there. Like, Tracy Walker was a smart free agent signing, and I thought that was a good move on there.
Right.
And the other guys were like, hey, we're guys that fit into with us that played us. We're going to sign them to a 1-year deal. The D-Day Chark, a 1-year deal, prove it. Reasonable price wise on there. I think everything they move, because again, they're not in a position to blow their wad free agent wise right now because we're not making the playoffs this year.
Right.
We're going to get the draft, fill in the needs. Again, if they win, they can win. Hopefully, if they draft well, they'll win anywhere from 6 to 9 games. I don't think they can. I think if everything in line properly and everybody played out of their minds, their absolute ceiling is 9 games. I don't see anything above it.
I'm with you.
Unless everything lined perfectly and Rodgers' head's exploded and Green Bay falls apart and Kirk Cousins basically blows out his knee or something like that. I don't see stuff. We're going to finish ahead of Chicago. I mean, right now is they have nothing in Chicago. They have Justin Fields and he has no weapons to throw to. None. And we said that from the beginning. Dude, you're going to go to Chicago and they're going to destroy your career.
Yeah, yeah. Chicago's a dumpster fire. It's where quarterbacks go to die, and it's just a mess. But one of these days they'll get it right. I just don't know when that will be.
No, they're never going to get it with the quarterback because they've never had.
Yeah, no, they really haven't. And you can go all the way back to your Super Bowl team, the only one you had, and it ain't gonna matter. Quarterback was not that good. Let's be real.
Yeah, they signed Deshaun Elliott to a 1-year deal. Safety with the Lions signed a 1-year deal worth $3.65 million. All right,
Okay.
and you get a proven contract. I mean,
Sure.
again, Elliott's not safety, and gives us some depth. I don't mind. We're still going to probably draft a safety. It just means we're not going to waste our time drafting Kyle Hamilton because I wouldn't. Edge rusher. Take that safety at number 32 or number 34.
Yeah.
You can get seen from Georgia, Dax Hill, Mayfault there at 32. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, definitely don't take a corner or a quarterback or anything. Just
Offensive line, you could always fill it in late round picks under for depth purposes wise.
I think
under.
so too. Yeah, I think they're the position that the Lions are in. Sure. Yeah.
Kenneth Walker. No, we're not taking Kenneth Walker. We don't need a running back, but I wouldn't mind taking a running back later in the round just for depth purposes. Haskins in that 5th or 6th round, I'd take him because he's a bigger running back. He gives you that short yardage, goal end zone production.
Well, it's like, now you got to do it. But, the Lions are a ways off. So, and they're in a division that is horrible. So, yeah, they're going to be able to mask some things maybe, hopefully this year and win some games and look okay. But I don't know. We'll see how this all goes. And we got the hard knock situation. So, we'll see how that kind of goes. But from the Lions to a team that is themselves on the right path pretty quick after the debacle. The Raiders, to me, are a very interesting look going into next year because they ended Carr 3 years. They got his boy in there. I assume those contracts are pretty closely aligned. They've got this thing spread out so they can hopefully keep the receivers and their tight end and these other guys that they're trying to keep and build that team. So to me, this is the opposite. This is a team trying to get better, and they're in murderer's row over there. So it's not an easy division.
No, that's the hardest. I think it's the hardest division in all football right now.
So it's going to be one of those to see a team like the Raiders who are going to be doing the right things, bringing in, it seems like they are, right? Like after they got rid of Gruden, it seems like all of a sudden things are just coming up roses for them for the most part, as far as whether you like Carr or not. He was a top 4 quarterback last year. Now, you want the interceptions down, but I think that's going to happen this year because he's got more firepower on the offensive end.
If Waller stays healthy and Adams stays healthy and Renfro on there and Josh Jacobs got some decent weapons for him to throw to.
So the only thing that they're looking at is they just need somebody on the offensive line to protect that right side. So if they address that in the draft, then you've got one hell of a team. And who knows if it'll show up on the wins or losses because of the division that they're in.
I know.
And then you look at the Lions who, are like struggling to kind of field a team, are now going to probably, have some assets. They're going to be able to pick some things. But they're probably going to, tell to look better than they are. And then you have at least from, maybe a record standpoint or a statistic standpoint, and you may have just the exact opposite with the Raiders over there. So two polar opposites right there in the league, and that's why is the NFL, because it's just that much parity from one thing to the other, whether you're talking about a good team, a bad team, a playoff team, and not a playoff team, who gets in, who doesn't get in this year. There's going to be some teams that aren't, we say it every year. What is it, like 6 teams or something like that?
6 teams make it, then they didn't make it the year before, and 6 teams that made it are out. And again, we'll see on there as after the draft and after the second round of free agency on there who's ranking up. But right now, the NFC North is going to be a terrible division. The NFC East is a terrible division.
Sure.
The AFC West is a freaking hard ass. I mean, it's a killer division.
Yeah.
On there, you're going to see probably the same thing. And
and Buffalo made some moves, so they're going to be hard to beat. But
yeah,
but it's not.
So did Miami though too.
Right.
And you go, holy crap, Miami's going to be better there, and we'll see what's New England going to do. And
did you hear the conspiracy about Miami and Tom Brady?
Brady was going to go there, for part ownership and do that, and then everything fell apart with the Stephen Ross situation and the whole Brian Flores deal. And
when he put in that
lawsuit, he's like, I'm gonna just go back to Tampa.
Yeah. Well, it blows up, right? Because the idea is they're going to bring in Brady and Sean Payton. And you can't now bring in Sean Payton after that.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So that blows up the whole coach-player combo. And so it wasn't going to work. And then it's not like and that would have required a Tom Brady to sit out a year.
Right.
And so they weren't, he's not going to do that if they can't do the Sean Payton thing. He's not going to sit out a year. So they got the rights to him. They're not going to trade him, so he's going to play for the Bucs now. But, yeah, if I'm going to play, though, this dude's got to go is what it sounds like, because Bruce Arians retiring at a goofy-ass time.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't really get into it too much, but, I mean, come on, man. Like
I'm not forcing you out. But you're forced out.
Yeah, I mean, like, why are you just all of a sudden retiring now?
Yeah. So we got that, and now we know why Brian Leftwich didn't go to Jacksonville.
Right.
With that, also too, we got basically we have to talk. Definitely is the new NFL quarterback Dwayne Haskins.
I couldn't believe it when I saw it, dude. I thought I'm like, is this an Haskins, like one that nobody's ever seen before, that nobody knows? Like, this is a different guy.
No.
That's a young dude.
Trying to cross over because he basically either ran out of gas or his car broke down. So he's trying to cross the freeway to get up and try to get help, and he gets nailed by a freaking dump truck.
You hear about it all the time, don't get out of your car or this, that, or the other when you're on the freeway. At some point, you may have to. Crossing the freeway is no joke.
No.
70 miles an hour is like,
dude,
that's fast. And don't think that people are doing 70. They're probably doing 90 to 100.
Even the dump truck on there is probably doing 70 because I don't think they can get up to 90. No. But still, I mean, dude, he can't stop.
No, nobody's hitting their brakes in time. Nobody's stopping in time to save your life. They're just gonna make it. It's just gonna hurt.
Yeah, it is on there, and it's a shame on there with it. And
so I would say I don't want to. It's nothing to do with him. I'm just saying, like, don't ever think that situation. Look, this guy was a premier athlete, and he couldn't run his ass across the street fast enough because it's judgment. Like, you can't tell. You don't know how fast that is until you try to outrun it, and it's too fucking late.
Yeah,
and so. It's just a horrible, horrible accident. It's a terrible situation. I feel so bad for him and his family, or obviously for
his wife, his young daughter, and on there with it. But
that's horrible. And Schefter with his stupid ass comments about his
struggling in
the league. It's like,
read the room a little bit.
Come on, man, you're better than that. You got more class than that, don't you? Like,
yeah, I thought it was not.
That was.
I mean, it's. for a guy who was, blowing, like, well, it wasn't the worst thing to say, but it was still the wrong time and wrong place to say it.
It was just
exactly.
not.
It wasn't necessary.
It was in bad taste, and it was
was.
totally unnecessary.
It was totally necessary with it. I agree with that on there, but with there. But it is a shame with it. I mean, the closest thing on freak accident like that, again, trust me, we've gone through it here in Detroit, is Eric Andelsack mowing his lawn on a basically riding mower, and he gets nailed by a frickin' semi because he's mowing on the edge of the side of there, the ditch net on the shoulder, and he gets hit on the off season.
That's so crazy.
So it's like, crazy things happen on there, and again, I don't. Even though he is a Buckeye, I didn't wish any ill will on him.
Oh, obviously not.
And actually, I was hoping he would succeed in Pittsburgh because Mason Rudolph is not the answer.
I know. He's not. He's horrible.
Nick Trubisky is not the answer long term.
No,
I mean, I was hoping
horrible.
Haskins would show up, and dude.
Yeah, get a chance. Because,
Get
I
a
mean, if
chance
you're going
on
to.
it.
Well, this is the whole thing. If you're going to be successful, that's going to be the team that sets you up for success. And he could have been in a situation where he could have. They would have potentially. He could have gotten a shot. And if that team doesn't maximize your abilities, I don't know what team will.
And he was working out in Florida with all his receivers. He had all his receivers down there to work out with them on there.
It's just so.
So here he is doing everything right in the offseason.
Yeah, he's working his ass off.
To become the best quarterback he can, and hopefully move up the chain of command.
Right.
There, at least be the number 2 guy in Pittsburgh, and hopefully take over from Trubisky.
Sure.
And this shit happens.
Yeah. It's horrible. So, I feel for his family, his wife, his kid, and it's a horrible, crappy accident. There's been a lot of those horrible, crappy accidents, to be honest. Who was the guy that passed away in the boat accident? The baseball player, right? It wasn't too long ago. A few years back, got launched out of the boat, and young guys. With
the Marlins.
I mean, these guys were all young guys, and it's like, I don't know, it's just wild. But anyway, it stinks. So moving onward, anything else NFL related? I think we hit it all.
Yeah, I think we've covered everything still going on. We've already covered the Snyder issues and everything with it. And I mean, right now everything is about the draft. And of course, my Uncle Urban says he's dismissing the notion that he didn't know who Aaron Donald was. I know who he was. I never said that. And now he says he's going to go back in broadcasting. Dude, for who? What, the Big Ten Network? Because I don't think Fox is bringing you back anytime new because it's just bad look there, especially with all the issues he had there. I mean, dude.
I don't know how they can do that. I mean, I don't know. Has he been gone long enough? Because there's always that.
It's not even, he's been gone. He's been fired. It's been under a year since he got from the NFL. Yeah, you're going to be on the C team there on the Big Ten. So you're going to be covering, Illinois and Purdue games on there. You're going to do the color guy.
Yeah, but still.
What? I want to do Michigan, Ohio State. No, sorry. We've got Gus and that. You're not involved on this.
I don't know how they can put him out there.
I mean, what are they going to do? Back in the studio there with Fox because Bob Stoops is coaching the USFL?
They're going to bring him in the USFL thing?
No, they won't. Oh, God, they'll never bring him for a pro thing under because he doesn't know anything about pro. We've seen that on his coaching resume.
It doesn't matter. They bring in Dan Orlovsky to talk about quarterbacks. They do. ESPN's quarterback guru or to go to is Dan freaking Orlovsky. Guy doesn't even know how big the end zone is.
Yes, he can be a total douchebag and doesn't know what the end zone is. Well, actually, no, he's a doofus and doesn't know what the end zone is, but he's douchebag on like Urban Meyer.
Right, that is very true.
And again, great quote on there. I think it's Travis Etienne over the last couple of days on there. They talked to him because he's come back from an injury. He missed the whole season with getting injured in training up, training and camp and everything. And they asked him about Urban, and he goes, "Well, I was hurt all year, and I'm working to get back." And he goes, missing a year is never a good thing, But if you're going to miss a year, this was a great one to miss.
Yeah, I mean, to miss the Urban Meyer era, you miss the complete and entire Urban Meyer era as it regards the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I that is absolutely outstanding. It's epic. It's a great line.
And he's sitting there laughing. It was like, yeah,
It's a great
thank
line.
God I wasn't here for the clown show.
Yeah.
That's all we needed him to say. He said, thank God I wasn't here for this clown show.
I wish
He
was
said
that
the
kind
right
of
was on there. And it's like, yeah, if I'm, I'd never, but if I was on there, but I would say is, thank God I wasn't here for the clown show. I would have loved to hear that.
I wish he would have said that. I wish he was that kind of guy that would have been like, just said whatever and didn't care. That would have been so outstanding. So effing outstanding. But we'll take the quote. It was still solid. It was still good. And
Awesome.
I love it. But so anyway, we still got I don't know, we still got
we got some. We still got hockey to go on there.
Yeah,
We'll get
we
into a little bit more of the NBA. We'll
Of
just break
course.
down the playoff action going on there.
Abso-freaking-lutely, because we've got some matchups already set. Of course, all the talking heads are losing their mind over the Lakers not making it.
And we'll get into that
we'll
as
get
well.
into
And
that.
we'll give you the real reason why they collapse on there.
Yeah,
not the talking head version.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe all the different versions I've heard. It's so silly. And then, of course, it'll be story time with Scrappy a little bit later. Moose asked, and I held off on telling because I'll wait and we'll do it live here. But interesting weekend for myself in the traveling world of professional wrestling. So we'll have some fun with that a little bit later, too. A little bonus coverage for you, I guess, if you want to call it that.
Absolutely. So we'll be here in just on the flip side. We are DSR2 Studio 57 Radio.
You're listening to Studio 57 Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.
Party people, this is the original Doc Ice, and you are definitely listening to Studio 57 Radio. And if Studio 57 Radio isn't on, then your radio ain't really on. Check that.
You're listening to Studio 57 Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.
Hey everybody, Scrappy here to tell you about That Radio Show. Hang with me as I break down the world of entertainment with great guests, celebrity interviews, awesome games with wonderful prizes. Also, we've got the biggest library of underground hip-hop of any station on the net. You mix in a little stand-up comedy and a text line so your voice can be heard, and you got a pretty good little show. But add listener-controlled programming? Yeah, you heard me. Listener-controlled programming, where you, the listener, can decide what makes it on the air. And now you've got the greatest show ever created. So join my show, your show, our show, the people's show, That Radio Show, each and every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, only here on Studio 57 Radio.
Hey everybody, this is your boy Big D, here to tell you about Mark for Life Tattoos. Guys, this place is the cleanest, most laid-back studio in Metro Detroit, and the artists are top-notch. And if you're like me from the D, you need to stop in on Fridays for that D-Day and get your old HD for only $20. Not interested in tattoos? Mark for Life does body piercing. Mark for Life is located at 22533 Van Dyke in Warren, and the guys are there 7 days a week from noon to 9. So give them a call at 757-2222. That's 586-757-2222. Tell them Studio 57 sent you and get 20% off. So what are you waiting for? Call them now.
Hey everybody, Smokey here to tell you about Allstate. Winter fast approaching, the most important thing between you and the road is your tires. So don't put your safety in just anybody's hands. Go to Allstate Tire. With new and quality used tires available, you can trust Allstate Tire for all your tire needs. You can visit them at 14208 9 Mile Road in Warren, or give them a call at 586-779-8759. Allstate Tire, your source for quality new and used tires.
What's happening, everybody? Scrappy here to tell you about Love and Life Club. Love and Life Club is a social networking club that's located at 19960 James Cousins. That's the Lodge Service Drive between 7 and 8 Mile Road and the D. You need to stop in for $5 Fridays for great music, food, and drinks. I personally recommend the chicken. Love and Life Club is also available for rental, bachelor parties, wedding receptions, or any party for that matter. For more information, log on to www.loveandlifeclub.com. That's loveandlifeclub.com, or call D at 313-999-2824. That's 313-999-2824. That's Love and Life Club. If you love and life, you need to be in the club.
We are taking over this broadcast for the underground.
Studio 57 Radio Original. You know, when you hear that sound, you're gonna have a good time, because that's the sound of the Ultimate Underground live concert webcast from the Detroit area. We go to the most famous, or should I say, infamous venues in the D, and bring the underground music scene from the streets to your computer like nobody else can. There's only one catch. You never know when and where the Ultimate Underground is going to take over a broadcast. So you need to stay tuned to Studio 57 Radio all day, every day, for clues on when and where the next Ultimate Underground may happen. Now, there's no other station on the net that's going to give you this live webcast of the hottest artist in the D. That's the Ultimate Underground live on your home for hip-hop, rock and metal, Studio 57 Radio, baby.
Goodbye.
You get what you want, cause we got what you need. Studio Studio 57, serving streets of the D. Recording, mixing, mastering, or great beats. We do what we do to keep you hot on the streets. You get what you want, cause we got what you need. Studio 57, serving streets of D. Recording, mixing, mastering, or great beats. We do what we do to keep you hot on the streets.
Studio 57 is a 32-track digital recording studio that utilizes Cool Edit, Logic Pro, Shure, Yamaha, Korg, Mac, Boss, Ibanez, Fender, many more to make your music pop. Friendly engineers make Studio 57 feel like home. With beat creation, mixing, mastering, digital media conversion, and DJs for any event, Studio 57 Records is your one-stop shop for all your music entertainment needs. We have online bill pay and flexible payment schedules. That makes Studio 57 the place to be. For more information, visit Studio57records.com. That's www.studio57records.com. Or call us at 586-420-3390. That's 586-420-3390. Or log on to Studio57records.com. And just remember one thing, baby. You get what you want because we got what you need. Studio 57 serving streets of the D. Recording, mixing, mastering, or great beats. We do to keep you hot on the streets. You get what you want because we got what you need. Studio 57 serving streets of the D. Recording, mixing, mastering, or great beats. We do what we do to keep you hot on the streets.
Party people, this is the original Doc Ice, and you are definitely listening to Studio 57 Radio. And if Studio 57 Radio isn't on, then your radio ain't really on. Check that.
You're listening to Studio 57, yo, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.
Yo, 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 Rebels, we are back for another hour of just silliness. Knocked out a little NFL, all kinds of nonsense. We're going to get into it. We talked a little baseball. We got some NBA to get into. There's plenty to get into, a little hockey here. But the NBA playoffs are getting down. Are you guys watching the plays? We got to get some statistical updates going on here. We'll talk a little bit about that. And, of course, a little later, story time with Scrappy. So, without further ado, let's do the do that we do at DSR2. Our do. I am Scrappy, and here is Johnny the Moose.
Hey, we're back for the second hour of DSR2 on this Wednesday here in the D in April. It's a little blustery, a little rain, but you know what? For temperature-wise, at least it's not snowing. So that'll happen Monday. You know?
Yes, right.
We go from 70 to 40 for Easter. Okay, we got here lots here to talk about. In case you missed it, we talked a lot about the MLB, NFL, a little bit about basketball in there as well. We'll get into some hockey. We'll get into some NBA playoff going on there. And, of course, we'll have story time with Scrappy here in just a little there on it. So, yeah, here we are with it.
We got some live stats here in the NBA play-in games. Let's start there because we're going to break down the East, and we're going to break down a little bit of stuff in the West, and we're going to get into the playoffs. But I want to get into, if you guys are watching the play-in games, we get a little conversation.
Yeah.
We had one, the Timberwolves, right?
Timberwolves last night beat the Clippers 109 to 104. So the Clippers are stuck playing the winner of the Spurs Pelicans, and if they play them and win that, they get to play the number one
whatever
seed.
you got going on over there? It's blowing through the microphone.
What the hell? I didn't mean
It's
to
loud
have
as hell.
I normally have it on. I don't know what the heck I did. But
All right.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, we got the Timberwolves finally actually get to the playoffs and don't have to worry about getting a lottery pick.
Yeah, right.
You know, how many years in a row with that. But, yeah, on there, right now we've got Hornets and the Hawks. It's just about to enter the fourth quarter, and it's 102. Hawks 102 and Charlotte 76.
Just getting rolled up in smoke. I imagine
Atlanta scored 42 points in the third quarter alone.
Yeah, it's got a Trae Young show too, I'd imagine. That's pretty much how I figured it would go.
Yeah, he's got 22 points, 10 assists already.
Yeah.
He's plus 27.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everybody that's starting for the Hawks right now is a plus on their Gallinari is only a +9, but then Hunter is +27, Capella is +28, Trey is +27, and Hunter is +26. So,
All right.
and nobody is plus for
Yeah, Charlotte. And then we've got the Spurs trying to weasel their way in, and that's crazy that Popovich has got this team even in the play-in my opinion.
Yes.
But that is the Pelicans. So that game going forward. So
that starts at like right about now. It should be starting any moment. So.
yeah, so I'd imagine the Pelicans would take that game as well, but we'll see how that plays out. So let's break this thing down. Well, let's get into the team that didn't make it and all these talking heads and all this crazy stuff with the Lakers first before we start breaking down the playoffs. Because I find it laughable that no matter who I listen to, there's no consistency of who thinks what happened with the Lakers.
No consistency, but total consistency?
Yes. The only consistency is that none of it makes any damn sense.
So, yes, the long time on there, the Los Angeles Lakers did not make the playoffs.
Yes, we've talked about it here. We all kind of know like why that they weren't going to, why they weren't going to. You're not would they play 22 games, maybe 21 games with everybody on the floor? Like that's not a recipe for success.
Disaster.
Yeah, you're just not going to win like that. Even if you have these guys healthy, I mean, it's really a tall ask, but they would be in the playoffs. I mean, I don't think we have any doubt that if these guys could have played 70 plus games together, that they'd be in the playoffs. But like, Genie Bus, yes. Is there something to blame? Vogel, that one, okay, there's an order to things. There's a ton of people to blame. There's plenty of blame to go around for the Lakers.
But Vogel being up there at essentially the number one spot,
he got scapegoat.
Oh, of course he did. He was the patsy. Who needs to take one for the team and take one back in the head? Guess what, Frank? You're it.
And he, played out the whole season. I mean, they were on him. Right, they were going to smoke him if he lost the game. Remember? Didn't that happen just like a couple months ago?
Yes.
I can't deal with it. Like the ownership from the top to the bottom. Genie Bus and all them making like horrible decisions as far as that business goes, in my opinion, and the way they're doing stuff. And then to allow LeBron to kind of manipulate that roster as much as he did and have that much power and say over the roster is insane to me. But like blaming Michael Westbrook for their problems is kind of funny to me because granted, Russell Westbrook is not he's not like his game doesn't translate well, but you knew what he was.
Right. You knew what he was going into. I mean, dude,
so like it was no surprise. So why would you make these moves? Why would you, I would assume this is a LeBron James thing. It's not like Russell Westbrook says, hey, come get me, please bail me out of here. Please help me. Like, I don't think it went that way. So like, why are you bringing in this guy and trying to make things work when everybody on God's green earth saw it was not going to? So to me, it does start at the very top. We talk about it here all the time with the Lions.
Right.
It starts at the top. So yes, that's where the blame starts with Genie Bus and the way the Lakers. But then I'm putting LeBron and then I'm going to move Vogel down from there. And
it's LeBron and Rob Pelinka.
Yeah, exactly. Rob Pelinka, Genie Bus, LeBron James, and then a Vogel, and then Westbrook. I mean, Westbrook is Westbrook.
Westbrook's Westbrook. I didn't even almost have to throw Anthony Davis ahead of Vogel because again, the dude's never healthy. He's everybody used to call Matthew Stafford China doll. Anthony Davis is a China doll.
Oh yes, yeah. If you look at him, he'll get hurt.
Yes,
that's pretty crazy.
The guy never stayed healthy his entire career.
No, he hasn't. It drives me nuts. I hate to put
He
that
could be
label on somebody,
he could be a
but he
top 5
definitely-
power forward
Sure.
of all time, and the guy can never stay healthy.
Right, and I hate put that label on somebody, but it's painfully obvious that that's not going to change, in my opinion. It just doesn't seem like it anyway. He's never has he played 60 games a season yet? Once he had like 65, I think.
I think
year.
one time.
Yeah. I mean,
And then other than that was like his first or second year in the league, and then the bubble year under because they had 4 off for everybody to get healthy,
right?
And they were in the bubble. But yeah, he's never stayed healthy with it. And dude, you got rid of all your youth, you got rid of any future you have because you have no first rounder this year, no first rounder in 23, no first rounder in 24, no first rounder in 25. You're gonna have to go to 26 before you have a first rounder.
I
Dude,
mean, you gave yourself the death sentence.
Right. Dude, your franchise is fucked for a decade.
That is insane.
And if you talk any league, well, we won 2 years ago. Yeah, I hope it was worth it. Because if you weren't in the bubble, you weren't winning that one.
Nope. Unbelievable.
You got lucky.
You did? Oh, yeah.
You got lucky because Golden State had everybody get hurt.
Yep. Well, that's the thing.
And Phoenix basically just figured it out last year. And you're not getting, I mean, look at them now.
Well, and my take on it, too, is LA can't use the, we got all these guys hurt excuse. Because look at all these other teams that had injured players and still, were able to get to the playoffs and even be top seed. Like, I mean,
New Orleans doesn't have Zion the entire season, and they're in the play-in.
Right.
So don't give me this crap about, we're hurt.
Right. Because you got
Golden State lost Klay Thompson for for roughly 2/3 of the season.
Right. Well, and you had Steph down too for
Steph was out
for a little while.
CP3 was out for 2 months for Phoenix, and they didn't even gained room on there. So I don't want to hear it.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Every team's had some kind of injury.
Yeah. Jimmy Butler was out for a couple months there in Miami, and they were the number
Miami's
1 seed.
number 1.
Number 1 seed.
How does that happen in the East?
Right.
With Philly and Milwaukee over there.
Right.
We're talking about them, and ain't nobody talking about Miami, how they creeped up to number 1 like that.
So I don't want to hear it on there. You know what? It's LeBron's problem, number 1, and Jeannie for basically letting LeBron do what he did, number 2. With it, and Rob Pelinka for being Rob Pelinka because
Rob Pelinka's Rob Pelinka. No.
Yes, exactly. You came off the human victory cigar for the Fab Five, and you got lucky to be an agent and finagled that way to become the general manager at the Lakers. Dr. Jerry Buss has to be rolling in his grave with a bad comb over, saying, "What the hell happened here? My idiot kid ruined it, and my daughter, who I had faith in, has destroyed this team." I need to come back from the. You know what? I need to have my ex-wife on there take the team back over from these idiots.
That's. You went there. You went there.
Well, because I'm watching Winning Time, so.
Yeah. Right. I've got like this weird neck and shoulder pain.
So, yeah, I mean, we go on there
around a
for
little
the playoff on there with it. And right now it's like, we got the Spurs Pelicans at 9:30. The winner of that one will play the Clippers on Friday. Right now, it looks like Hornets will play the Cavs on there, and the winner of those 2 games will play the number 1 seeds in the West and the East. So, great. You get to play Phoenix or Miami on there, and here Port Boston, who get to play Brooklyn. Which I think, again, we talked about this in the pregame, the warm up here. I think Boston beat Brooklyn.
Yeah, I don't see. Okay, so did you watch the game last night with Brooklyn, the game?
A little bit.
Okay, so my take on that game, from what I've seen, it should be pretty self-explanatory, and you can just look at the numbers, really, and it bears this out. If you can withstand the initial onslaught, that's it. You can be beaten. They got down 20 points quick.
Right.
Cleveland did.
Yeah.
But they outscored
Brooklyn the last 3 quarters.
Yeah.
They basically
So-
took over the last 3 quarters. Problem is
So that you get like that, they didn't have the firepower to come back, and so you don't think Tatum has got the firepower back? You don't think Boston's got the firepower to come back?
God, yeah.
Do you think Boston's even going to count 20 like that?
no.
And do you think that you guys can do what you did and shoot like 70-something% night in and night out against Boston Celtics team? I mean, because that's what they had to do to win. They shot like whatever, some like 6% from the field or some nonsense as a team. Like
Right.
that it doesn't happen. You're going to do that against a Celtics team? No. And you over the course of a 7-game series, get out of here.
Right.
Get out of here. And I get it. They'll win some games, and it won't be a boring series. But if you think it's going to be a walk in the park for Brooklyn, you're out of your mind, because it's more than likely going home.
I think so. With it on there. And also, I mean, again, if you look at series-wise, it's first round, it'll obviously is Boston and Brooklyn. And we think Brooklyn's going to win that. I mean, lose that one, and Boston's going to win. Jazz will play. You know what? A great series is going to be Jazz Mavericks.
Yeah.
That's going to be a great series to watch there.
Yeah.
Timberwolves, Grizzlies on there. I don't think the Timberwolves want to face the Grizzlies at this point in time on there.
I don't think so either, but they don't
Nuggets,
have a choice.
Warriors might be an interesting one to watch. Well,
Yeah.
Raptors, 76ers could be interesting because going to Canada, unless you've been vaccinated, you ain't playing.
Oh, yeah.
You ain't going
Yep.
on there. So that's on that. And then we've got, obviously, the number, whoever wins the Cavaliers and essentially the Hornets game on Friday, they'll play the Heat. I think Cavaliers will have a better shot against the Heat than the
Yes.
Hornets. I don't think either of them will take them out.
No, not
And then
the
we got
7-game
Bulls,
series.
Bucks on there. Unfortunately, the Bulls are playing at the wrong time, playing as bad as they are in there, and I think the Bucks will win this one on that. And then we obviously we'll have essentially Clippers versus the winner of the Spurs Pelicans facing the Suns on there. I don't think anybody wants to face the Suns right now.
No. I mean, to be honest with you right now, it's the Suns to lose.
I think it's going to be a rematch of last year. I think it's going to
Yeah.
be the Suns and the Bucks on there, and
Yeah.
I think the way it's looking on there, the way the Suns are playing, Suns might be the team to beat on there.
Yeah. I think
With
I
it.
think
And
it's
then
the-
next year, who knows? It'll be the rubber match, maybe. So
Jeez, that's crazy. We haven't seen something like that in quite a while.
we
where
haven't seen something like that since Lakers and Boston.
Boston. That's what I was thinking.
You know,
Yeah,
a
80s or
rivalry
whatever.
like that. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. That's crazy. But there's some really good match. I think the NBA's got some. It's going to be some good playoff action. I'm not a big fan of this whole little play-in tournament nonsense. It's okay. I like that it kind of puts some meaning on the tail end of the playoff. The seeding there, but I'm not like overly excited. Most of the stuff's pretty easy to.
Yeah.
To see what's going to happen. So, and it's just a one and done kind of scenario. So, but I don't know. I just think there's some really, really good matchups, and I think it should be fun. But it's Phoenix, pretty much. Like you said, probably a rematch. But Phoenix is going to be the team to beat. So,
see on that, and then like when we'll get into it, more in the
we'll
playoffs
break
wise,
it down as we get
and then
into it,
obviously
sure.
wise with it, was the Pistons. They end up finishing in the bottom 3, so they get 14% chance of getting the top pick in the lottery on there with it. So we'll see what happens there wise on there. I think the Pistons wise, especially since they made the Bagley trade, have probably been they've been playing pretty good ball, because I think that since the All-Star game, they're 10-14 since the All-Star game. So, and they only won 13 games. The honor, but especially getting Bagley, they've definitely played better. And I think they need to sign Bagley. We'll see what they get in the draft, and I think they need is Bagley coming back, getting another big guy out there over 6'9" that can score will definitely help this team, and we'll see him. Cade is the right guy to pick, and we've seen it.
yeah.
He makes this team better. He makes
Absolutely.
everybody playing around him
Absolutely.
better. And he wants to be here in the worst possible way.
Yeah.
He's like, we're going to win here. I think he's embraced the city, and the city's embraced him with it. So I think it's with it on there. I'm so glad they took him.
Yeah,
Maybe
I am too.
Mobley would on there, but I think, again, we're better off getting Cade. And I'm so glad we didn't get Jalen Green.
Absolutely.
I am so happy.
I
we
know
didn't get
all the
Jalen
Jalen Green fans. I mean, I'm sorry, but yeah, this is definitely the pick. So, yeah, I'm excited to see what they can do as far as adding. 'Cause, I mean, if you get a top 3 or 5 pick, then you're going to be able to add some talent to this roster. So, and Detroit is trending in the right direction. And, you know, in the East, what, 38, 39 games probably get you in the playoffs?
The play-in on there,
Get you in the play-in.
you're going to be just a hair above 500 because Charlotte was the number 10 in the East,
Okay.
and they were 4 games above 500.
Okay. All right.
And it's the same thing over. Actually, it's better here because in the West, actually, the East was a little tougher than the West on there because at least Charlotte was above 500. Where San Antonio was the 10th seed in the West. They were 14 games below 500.
Oh, wow. Okay.
There's that huge drop off. I mean, Minnesota was 10 games above 500. Clippers were 2 games above 500, and then New Orleans and San Antonio were below 500. Lakers were
Yeah, that's typically flipped the other way, right?
Lakers are 16 games above 500. But if you look at the bottom 5 of the West, I don't see any of them making a turnaround anytime soon because you have the Lakers, Sacramento, Portland, Oklahoma City, and Houston.
Yeah.
I don't see any of them turning it around.
No,
I mean, at least on the in the East, and New York took a bad dump this year. Washington, basically injuries killed them. Indiana, I don't know what's weird in India. I think Detroit's going to definitely be one of those teams that kind of bump up next year, and who knows with Orlando. But yeah, you look at a lot of these teams under, Cleveland making a jump this year.
Right.
Atlanta actually was kind of a disappointment on there. I thought they would be better off on there. Charlotte's making that progression as well on there. So yeah, I mean, the East suddenly become a lot harder.
Right. Well, we talked about that before
Yeah.
few weeks ago, Moose, that we thought the East, it was kind of flipping,
Back to everything's
these-
cyclable for
yeah.
better part of a decade. It's been the West, and now we're switching back to the East
The
again.
East is
so.
definitely deeper now. When you start talking about the top of the food chain, though, the
Right.
top of each conference, it's a little bit different.
Right. I mean, the top heavy of the West, I mean, any of the 4 teams in the West can win it. Phoenix, Memphis, Golden State, and Dallas.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then your 5th seed is Utah. And they
yeah.
can even make a run. I mean, yeah, so there's a lot of teams out there that can make a run. So, we get that. Oh, we got the Masters. Tiger didn't make it. He made the cut.
He made the cut, man.
Made the cut.
Shoot, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
I didn't think
considering coming off of essentially the injury on there.
I can't believe that. Well, it started to kind of show a little bit, right? Like as it went on, you could tell the walking
It hurt.
was affecting him. Yeah.
yes.
But I mean, for him to even be out there was like amazing. And then he made the cut. I was like, oh, well, damn. Golf needs something, and they refuse to try to, bring up any of these young guys from a hitting standpoint. So I'm sure it was nice to have that little infusion of Tiger, but he needs to just lay low for a minute. Let that.
I don't think he'll be playing
relax for-
anytime. Yeah,
he's talking about what's the one in July or whatever.
Well, the British Open's in July. U.S. Open's in June.
Oh, okay. I don't think he's.
I don't think he's
I don't think
committed
he's
to
gonna
the
make it
U.S.
June.
Open.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
He may play in the British Open on there,
Well,
but yeah,
it's just the Open. Remember?
yes, the Open. It's
Yes.
the British Open.
No,
I mean,
it's just Open.
no.
Yes, it's just the Open. You get it right, Mister. Don't you make me sick my attack cat on you.
Scrappy Damas, golf snob.
Yes. All of a sudden, I'm a snob over that I'm completely and utterly bored by.
Yes, and then Scott Scheffler, the #1 golfer in the world, wins the Masters on there. Actually, with couple moments on there was nice. Was the great to close it out with Rory McIlroy making the eagle on out of the sand there at on 18 was great to see on there with it. So, but it's the Masters. I mean, The Masters.
The Masters. The Bastards. I mean, the Masters.
Yes. So we'll get into that on there. But yeah, it was nice to see, what how Tiger at least could play and walk the course.
Yeah,
and,
it was awesome.
On there. So,
not like, it was just cool just because, geez, like, how at his age to recover like that. And it's not like he hadn't had multiple surgeries prior to this accident. And so,
with the back surgeries and everything else with
just
it.
Think about everything that it could have. I don't know. We hold on to like all the goofy stuff he did in his personal life and how he kind of came unglued there for a little bit from a professional standpoint. But you got a lot of great golf out of this guy, and then you got to look at the human side of this thing, like. That was a pretty gnarly car wreck. You got to start thinking. We talked about it before. The whole Ben Hogan. That's the only. Like, when do you look back and see a guy that was able to, be in a car wreck or have something like that happen and then be able to come back and recover that quickly?
It would have been the Ben Hogan one on there with it. Dude, if I'm Tiger Woods, if I'm Tiger Woods' handlers, dude, you're not driving. We're just going to get you. We'll send you a driver.
Dude, I don't know why he can't just accept these things himself and handle it. Like, he's got the cash. It's not like there's an issue covering the Uber.
Yes.
I mean,
dude, you get your driver, drive the Escalade, and then on there with it. On it.
Dude, you could pay me, man. I don't even need that much.
Yeah.
I'll drive you around.
Yeah.
I'm a professional driver. I've been a professional driver for 30 years.
On there, and then it was the second place was Cameron Smith. Why did Cameron Smith lose? Because he had the worst fucking mullet I've seen in God knows how long. It was a bad 80s mullet. That's why you lost. Dude, the mullet is dead. Hopefully it'll never, ever, ever, ever come back.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm proud enough to say I never had a mullet, thank God. Even when I had full head of luxurious hair.
I had a bit of a mullet-ish, yeah. But not like nothing crazy. So, it was a little mullet-ish, though. So, like, because it was short on top, and it wasn't, like, real long in the back. But it was, like, if I let it go, it would be Joe Dirt. If I just let it go and then just trim the top back up short again, it'd be Joe Dirt. But
Cameron Smith was almost a Joe Dirt mullet.
Yeah. See, I never.
And he was a scrawny little weaselly looking dude.
Yeah, I was pretty close, but not quite there. I did the skater kid haircut. I did a lot of different weird stuff, but I didn't. I didn't go full on mullet. Close, very close though.
No mullet here, thank God, and no, definitely no perm mullet because I never even had a mullet.
Oh, perma mullet. There is a Sam Beal, pro wrestler. He has a permed mullet, and he's it's permfection as he calls it. His hair is permfection. So. Just so you guys know what's going on out there. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know, the whole golf thing, whatever, hoop-de-hoo. It doesn't. I can't get excited about it, but there's stories to be said. Then the story is the story. That guy just did a backflip off the other dude's chest.
So we got the NHL wrapping up here.
Yep.
I think we got the last week of the season going on there.
Yep.
Kraken Jets game was postponed due to snow.
Oh, damn.
Because Winnipeg is getting hit with a blizzard.
Awesome. I'm sure they're happy about that.
Yeah. Come on, it's Winnipeg. I mean, what are they known for? Polar bears and snow.
Yeah, that sucks.
They go to Minnesota and say, here, hold my beer. You want to talk about shit weather?
Yeah, we got it.
So, yep, we're about the last week, or week to 10 games of the season left on there. Again, our Detroit Wings are officially have been eliminated from the playoff contention.
Yeah, well, that's where we're at.
And
right now.
I think Blashill is going to be relieved of duty after the season. We'll see where on there. I heard his rumor is looks like the odds on favorite. Igor Larionov.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. That's kind of
He's
different.
coaching right now, I think, over in Europe right now. So
Interesting.
the professor only makes sense.
Yeah, no, it
Of
does.
all the Russian players that make a jump into coaching, Larianov will probably be the obvious one.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. It's just a kind of an unusual way to go. Not anybody that's established. You're going to go over and just get another Red Wing, a former Red Wing. I think that's going to be a little bit, people are going to be looking at that. So
Yes.
there's going to be some scrutiny with that. So hopefully he is successful because that's going to bring heat if he's not, I think. Because it's like, okay, so what? Eisen's just going to come in and bring all his buddies in and shit the bed? Can't have that.
No.
So hopefully he's right with this if he's the odds-on favorite. Or maybe that's just now. Maybe that's just what's going on. Maybe they're just going to interview this guy and maybe he gets it and maybe he doesn't. As long as they get in and, do their due diligence, I don't really care. I'm going to trust the process at this moment. I have no reason not to. When it comes to the Red Wings, but I am looking with one of those skeptical eyes, like when your dog's looking at you, like, "What are you doing over there?" I'm doing that right now, but we'll see. I don't know. I don't know.
I was kind of hoping that in the offseason last year he was going to go after Gerard Gallant.
You're right.
Unfortunately, he didn't. He kept Blashill, and Gallant is with the Rangers, who are off to a really good season so far. They're going to make the playoffs. They've got 100 points already for the season. So, yeah, I mean, Gallant could be a runner for Coach of the Year, especially with the Rangers. I mean, last year the Rangers didn't make the playoffs. This year they're in the top half of the Eastern Conference. So, definitely like that.
Right, absolutely. So, yeah, that would have been nice. But it is what it is, and see what happens. Hopefully he's right about this. That's all I can say. Hopefully he's right. So, but yeah, I can't wait till the playoffs. When we talk time, it's like beating a dead horse. It is. I love MLB playoffs. I'm sorry, NHL playoffs. It's just, I don't know, man. Once again, an 8 seed can go all the damn way.
The ACs have gone to the finals.
Right. So it's just all that. I don't know. It's just always really good. And it feels like the intensity is just such a notch or maybe even more above what I'm used to seeing. Like it's insane. Absolutely insane. So I wish like I said, I like the NHL stuff. Sorry, I got a little distracted there. I like the NHL playoffs. Probably, I think the uptick in the level of play is as higher than any sport. So
yes.
I really enjoy that. So, but anyway, so yeah, when I think it's wrong. So how many games we got left? We only got a handful. The only thing that's gonna be weird.
We got like 8 or 9 games. Some of them have, I think, was it Pittsburgh's already played 75, so they've only got 7 games left. Most everybody's right around that 72, 73, 74 games. So you got anywhere from 10 to 7 games.
Okay.
So the next 2 weeks it'll be done.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it's just a little interesting, too, because you got, the Canadian teams and getting over there. So hopefully they don't have any.
Well, I think only one NHL player
is not vaccinated.
It was Tyler Bertuzzi, and we're not making the playoffs. So it's no big deal.
It's no big deal, yeah.
And again, I think we'll see what they do in the offseason wise. I know only 2 players are untouchable right now, and it's going to be Raymond and Cider. Everybody else is available. On there. If the price on there, I would probably definitely keep Larkin. I think Larkin taking a step up on there. Bertuzzi, I like him, but dude, you not getting vaccinated hurt this team.
Yep.
And that's going to be something that has to be addressed.
Yep.
Varnya, who basically missed 2/3 of the season, comes on there and looks what he's doing. He's playing really well on there, so I would definitely probably keep him on there. Now you look at it, we won that trade because even though he's only played a handful of games, he's done a lot better than Anthony Mantha's done for Washington.
Sure.
Mantha's played probably half the season, and Ronnie has only played a handful of games, and you could already see the difference. So
Right.
I definitely like that. But yeah, I think Blashill it's just ran its course. It's just, dude, they're tuning out the message. It's time.
Yeah.
You haven't progressed these kids as what we thought you were going to do as well as you did in Grand Rapids, and need to move on. Face it, you're a good assistant
Right.
and probably a good guy to be in like the minor league.
Sure.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nope. It's just not working there. Yep. I'm with you.
So,
Yep. I'm with you. So,
but as we say, don't really start till Toronto gets knocked out. in the
Yeah.
first round.
poor Toronto fans.
Sorry, Canadian Mike.
I don't know if we should be talking much right now, as the Wings can't even get a
Hey,
playoff.
we've won at least 4 in our lifetime.
Oh yeah, we've got cups.
Toronto hasn't.
Yeah, we've got Stanley Cups. No
And
doubt.
I'm 50, going on 57, and I've only seen Toronto. I don't even remember Toronto because I was 2.
I was 2. Shoot.
The classic going to Toronto for Mickey Redmond tour. And we go and see him at the old Maple Leaf Garden. We had some cab driver still bitching about the Frank Mahavlas trade in 1967
That's
when they
funny.
traded us to trade from Toronto to the Wings. I'm like, dude,
That's
like
fucking funny.
1967. This is like 94. I'm going, that's only 37 years ago
That's funny.
or 27 years ago.
That's flipping hilarious. And people hold grudges.
Yes.
Say that, so, I don't know what else to say. Anyway, so where are we at here? Oh, I missed it. Anyway, so had a show over the weekend, a little wrestling show. We were trying to earn some money for the Veterans Memorial out there in Oscoda. It was all good. We had everything all set and
Oh
ready.
my
like
God, he
usual.
picked him up like a rag doll.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. That guy's a monster. So we've got to do this thing. We're on the road. We're moving. We're taking the show on the road. We're going to another venue. So we had to go to our home base and get our ring and all our TV production and all that stuff. And so we get our U-Haul truck and we get over there, and we have access issues getting our stuff out. So they have another event going on, and they're blocking like our dog cage where all our ring and everything's at. Not real bad, but like they know that we're coming, and so it's not a secret. So they it's no secret that we're coming. So we, after a little bit of this, a little bit of that, we get it done. We get in there, we get our stuff, we're out of there quick. So little hiccup, but it went smooth. Got the truck on the road. You got an hour and a half to get to our venue. And so we've got the truck. We've got and 2 cars that are going to be following. My pickup would be the third. I decide I'm going to go fuel up. I'm going to take my time, and because what I got to do is a little bit less, and I can kind of roll in behind them. That way, if something happens, I'm trailing. I'm the trail. I'm the tail. And so that was my thought process. So I'm like, all right. So we do our thing, do whatever. And I just kind of go. And I just naturally move probably quicker than I think I do. Because before I know it, I see one of the 2 vehicles in a big U-Haul truck. And I'm like, oh, I'm catching up to him already. And I'm like, all right. Well, if that's the case, at least they got a partner there. I'm just going to go. So I go past, and I see, Rick in his truck, and he's right behind the U-Haul. And I get to the U-Haul, and that ain't John driving the U-Haul. That's not our U-Haul. That's somebody else's U-Haul, and Rick thinks he's following our U-Haul. And I start laughing. I'm like, how much you want to bet Rick thinks that's our fucking U-Haul? And we just kept driving, thinking, okay, the U-Haul's already ahead. and he's just putzing around, and he thought that was our U-Haul. And I'm like, that'll be funny. Hopefully he's got his GPS on and doesn't just blindly follow this fucking thing. And that U-Haul has a blowout. And he pulls over thinking it's our U-Haul. And then this other dude gets out of the U-Haul and he's like, whoa, wait a minute. Okay, do you need a hand? I can give you a phone if you need a call. And he makes sure that guy gets to the U-Haul and gets everything taken care of. And then he gets back on the road. And it's like, oh, that's not our truck. Our truck's got to be out there. Meanwhile, I went ahead and I've got my mom. My mom's playing road dog with me. She's hanging out with me the whole weekend. She came up to my cabin, and then we went out to the event, and she just wanted to see what it was all about. She's retired, and she's like, I'm not doing nothing. I got nothing going on. I want to see how this happens. So she's coming. She's hanging out. She's watching. So we're on the road shooting the shit. We're having a good time. We're jamming music. We're shooting the shit. We're driving, and I missed my exit. And I'm like, oh, man. I go like 8 miles past. It cost me about 8 miles. 4 there, 4 back. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to be a little late there, but that's all right. I was going to be the trailer anyway. And so I figure the truck will be there when I get there. I roll up. There's no truck. When we finally get to Oscoda, there's no truck. And I'm like, well, where's the truck? And I wait around. We wait around for like 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Then I see Rick, who was behind the truck that ain't our truck. And I'm like, where's the truck? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, well, they should have been here. They were ahead of us all. He's like, well, that's what I thought. And so Dennis is following the truck with John in it. So he still got him. Well, they got to a point where the GPS went out. And they just kept driving. And by the time they realized they were out of whack, they were in like South Branch or some nonsense.
Oh, my God.
And so there is no signal out there. And so now the truck's like, all right, I'm going to turn around. And he pulls into it like an RV park to turn around. Well, he's got that big 26-foot truck. And he looked at a spot and he's like, all right, I'm going to turn around here. I might have to put wheels on this grass a little bit. As soon as he hit that grass, that truck sunk to the ground. The belly to the ground. Buried it.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's got everything in it. The ring, the TV production. It's got everything in it. Stuck 40 minutes away from Oscoda in the mud. In a town that doesn't know what a cell phone tower is. Let alone 5G. Like, get that out of your head. So none of us really know what's going on because he's got no signal. We can't get a hold of him. So, like, for us, we're just, like, trying to figure out what we're going to do. And we don't want to panic the boys, but we also have to figure out a plan of attack. But we don't know what the F is going on the other end. So we're like, okay, so we're with, two of the 5 board members are there, me and Rick, and we're like trying to figure out how we're going to handle stuff. And it's like, well, let's not get everybody too spun out yet. And we'll just let them know the truck's going to be late and we'll figure it out. No big deal. We have a window here where we can work. We just have to work fast. So what we don't know is that they're stuck in the mud in some like dead zone. And the only guy there's one dude at the park, one lonely dude at this whole RV park. And he tries to help them, and they can't get out of the mud. It doesn't, whatever. So he's trying to get a call out, and the guy's like, yeah, dude, this is a dead zone. You'll never get a call out. I got a landline if you want to call U-Haul. Cool. Gets on the phone, calls U-Haul. 45 minutes on hold with nobody there to help. Nobody ever answered. He's like, dude. And the guy's like, well, look, if you go through this trail to the clearing and up the hill, if you go up there, you can kind of like get a bar. You might get like 1 bar of signal. So he goes all the way up there and gets on the uhaul.com on his phone. And that's how he got a damn truck out there. And the truck had to come from like Grayling.
Oh my God.
Because you've got a giant truck and they have to get the one that tows buses and shit.
Yeah, you need a semi-trailer.
Yeah.
You need a semi-tow truck.
Yeah, to get it out.
Wow.
So now we're like, oh, snap. So now we're doing everything backwards. Now we set up the merch tables, we set up the chairs, we set up the locker room. I had some production stuff on me, but I set up the tables for production and the little bit of production stuff I had on me. And then all the wrestlers had to go over their matches and stuff without a ring. And they had to get in their gear now. And they had to do all that stuff because when the ring does show up, guess what?
Everybody's got to.
It's all hands on deck, and we got a show to do. So finally, like 3 hours later, this truck gets out. Now we're freaking because we've got people lined up out the door, through the hallway of the school, out the door and around the corner. And they've been out there for hours. They came, doors were at 5:30 and they were out there at 3 o'clock.
Damn.
And we're like, we're supposed to start this show at 6 and there's no way. So we got to push doors out. I don't think he got there till 6 with the ring. And so it was like 5:30, 6 o'clock when he got there with the ring. And so now we got to hold off this mob because there's a ton of them out there and they want the show. So now we've got our guys out there in their full gimmick, doing full character, out there clowning around and playing with the audience out in the hallway and outside, just acting like goofs. It's all over TikTok right now because all these little TikTok videos of everybody watching the show and the guys in full gimmick doing their crazies and entertaining them out there while we're doing the army ant thing and bringing in the ring because finally it's here. And we start getting, I get all the TV production stuff's on the tail end of the truck, and that's me. And so, like, my production team is like, hey, what can we help you with? Like, because I'm going like a maniac, and they're not sure. And I'm like, dude, nothing. Check out all the carpentry guys, the ring, the entrance, all those guys. Make sure all that's taken care of. Don't worry about this stuff. We still have to we left one area of seating open so we could bring the ring in. Like, once that ring's in, then grab the rest of those chairs and drop it. Like, all this, like, these are things that you can look for. I can set up production by myself like that because I've done it for so many years,
right?
Live stage stuff. So this is easy. And since the production has been redone my way, I can literally plug everything else in, turn everything on, and it works just like that. I almost don't even have to check anything. It does that well. So the way I've got it set up. So I was like, no, you guys do that. And everybody killed it. You know, we've got it all set up. And it's funny because we're in the setup, we're setting up the ring, and I'm working production, and the effing rings broke. One of the welds is broke, and our carpenter guy that works, he's a wrestler too, and he does all our carpentry work. He's got his welder in his trunk.
So he was
in his full gear, full gimmick, while crowd was outside, welding the ring that was already half put together.
Oh my God.
While we're setting everything up. We were an hour late. The show went off and the crowd was hype as hell. They were loud. They were crazy. They were into it. And we raised a shit ton of money for the Veterans Memorial Fund.
Well, there we go.
We were even doing like signings for donations, or all the wrestlers were taking pictures for donations, and we filled this giant bucket full of cash. We did a bunch of extra shit because we were late. The fans stayed; they loved it. I made a killing. I sold a ton of stuff. I sold more that night than I have in any single night.
Well, there it is. It all worked out in the end.
It was the craziest night. We didn't get done by the time we broke down, got out of there. You know, you got to pay everybody and go through all that, you know, and we have our board that gets together and we talk about things as we got to talk to certain guys and over certain things. So each individual person gets paid. And then there's a quick, like, what happened? What are we going to do? Whatever. A lot of guys, it's no big deal. Great match. Have a nice, be safe, whatever. Some guys, you have to have a talk about this, that, or the other. Right. So we got all that kind of stuff going on. And then while we have to break down and load the truck and do that, and then get up out of there, and then drive an hour and a half back to unload the truck. And so it was till like 4 a.m. almost before it was finally done and over with. It started at 11. It went to like 4 a.m. It was so effing crazy. It was so nuts, dude. And everybody, and you got all these people, you're trying to keep them from like, not, like you don't want them to bug out. You don't want them to be tripping. And so, you know, I just kept saying, hey, pressure makes diamonds, baby. Pressure makes diamonds. And we're all going to shine tonight. Don't worry. Don't worry. And fortunately, you know, we had good leadership with a lot of these other guys that have been there and done that when it comes to wrestling shows. So they knew how they wanted to handle it. And I just got to watch it, really. I mean, I obviously had a part in it, but, it was great. It was very heartwarming to watch everybody kind of come together and work as a unit to make that thing happen and to just overcome what was like a nightmare. Most cats would have folded up and went home. I want to say 90% of cats with all that going on would have said, you know what, we'll just I'm just gonna go home and we'll try again next time. And that's not what happened. Everybody stayed with it. I mean, shoot, our so a couple of our ladies, Hannah and Juniper, started the show off. And they lit it. They were on fire. They got you know, you're talking about a crowd that's been sitting and, you know, we've had to entertain out in the hallway and outside and all that stuff to, you know, get, you know, before, and they waited so long to get in the venue. And they came in and just, though that crowd was so hype and they just set the tone for the night. And right then and there, I knew we were good to go. We got the show off. The first match is going. And those girls were even talking about how they would do a match without a ring. They were ready to go. That's the kind of dedication that we were getting from like and in the locker room. And so like I've been in basketball locker rooms and football locker rooms and MMA locker rooms, and I've never seen a locker room like this. And my mom even commented on it. She, like I told you, my mom was my road dog. She was hanging out. She sat at my merch table and she basically watched things happen. She kept shut. She played games on her phone when she was bored while we were waiting for stuff and couldn't do nothing.
Right.
You know, we ate pizza together and shot the shit for a little bit. She chatted with some of the people that were there. I introduced her, of course, to the crew and stuff. And she was like amazed at how close. She's like, man, you guys are all really close. And, you know, and seemed to like, you know, get along great, and you guys all really worked together and for each other and stuff. And she was really, as much as she was impressed by the pageantry and the characters, because that was the other thing she talked about all the time, was the pageantry, the characters and the outfits and the showmanship and the timing and all this stuff. She's like, oh, the stuff that goes into all this. She went on about a lot of stuff, but that was the thing that stuck to her the most. Yeah. And when someone from the outside who's just kind of there watching and hanging out picks up on all those nuances, you got something there. Not that we didn't already know that, but it was pretty cool. So yeah, as much as can get crazy and get out of hand and could get even crazier, right? It could have snowballed into something even worse. And nope. It was, so just remember that, like, it's not always going to be peaches and cream, but you can make a pretty nifty dessert out of some goofy shit sometimes.
Yep. It sounds like everything worked together in the end. And again, it looks like the crowd fed on it. And
oh yeah, it was,
and obviously the talent and the ring talent down there fed on the crowd, and it looks like, it sounds like it worked out great.
It really did turn out really good. We got some really cool footage. I've shared snippets that we put out there. The fans took a ton of pictures and really got involved. It was just it was a really, really good show. I would recommend getting on the Battlezone TV bandwagon. This show will be cut down into, you know, a couple of episodes. And you're getting some really good work now, storyline wise, character work wise, in-ring work wise. The crowd is always hype. It's nice. And I'm going to be on TV. So not just my voice, because you get that, but I actually got involved this week.
Oh.
So nothing crazy, nothing wild. I'm not doing anything where I'm getting bumped around. It was totally by accident, but I did get to make an appearance on Battlezone TV. So when it gets cut and put on television. So yeah, go to iwegladiators.com. Check out all your local area things of where you can watch Battlezone TV on your local cable provider. If you don't want to do that, we're streaming on the High Spots Network, the Progress Wrestling Network, and also the IWE Gladiator, the IWE YouTube channel. But if you're not sure where to find any of that stuff, it's super easy. It's just iwegladiators.com, and everything you need is going to be right there on the website. So get you some some merch too. I got me a Creature Feature Frankenbucket shirt. Everybody's got to have those. Yeah. So and there's I wear my Corey Kerr shirt. He was there. I need to get a Jeremiah J. Hughes one. It says Hughes your daddy. I love it. So I'm gonna get that shirt next. But I gotta support my family, my wrestling family. So that one's next on my list. But yeah, good stuff, man. I was super surprised, pleased, and it was just I'm glad to see. Now I've been through it. I wasn't as stressed as I'm surprised as some other people may have been. Mainly because I've been through all this. Vanilla Ice gave us a headache about a hotel, didn't want to start the show, came late when he did come, and people were already in the venue. We had to empty the venue because he needed to do sound check with an empty venue, and then blew the speakers. So then we had to come up with a way to get some speakers in there to get the show off, and then we made the show go and all that. So like I've been through this before in a different world, but I wasn't panicking, which was kind of amazing. But just trying to think of what I could do to help. And I'm glad these other guys, once again, didn't panic, knew what to do because they've been in the wrestling business a minute and it wasn't their first rodeo. And they just kind of took charge of like how to handle it. And it was good. I like every aspect of it. There isn't a single thing that I would have done different. As a matter of fact, had I had an opportunity to say something, I would have said something along a lot of these suggestions. Some of my suggestions obviously were used, but I just think that they just did a great job, from bringing guys out to the ring, out to the crowd and just can stuff happen. But to like have to pull out a welder and all this, dealing with all the stuff with the truck and all that crazy stuff that I wasn't even privy to until after the fact. I didn't know, like we had a show to do. So when the truck got there, I didn't know what happened with the no signal and up the hill, and I don't know any of that at that point, and nor do I care. We got to get this show on the road,
right? So
that's all stuff you find out later. So it was pretty wild when you start putting the story together from everybody's perspective, and I implore you guys, if you see any interviews and any stories from any of the IWE guys about that weekend in Osco, to listen to it, because I'm sure their point of view is pretty wild too, and their version of the story would be probably more entertaining than mine. But anyway, there it is.
So we got a final of the Atlanta Hawks Charlotte Hornet game. Atlanta Hawks are 132 to 103.
Oh wow, Jesus.
Yep, you were right. Trae Young had a big game, 24 points, 11 assists. And 3 boards. Yeah, he was plus 27. So, yeah, huge game for Trae. And
not surprising. Not surprising. But we should get some good playoff action, I think. I'm super excited. So, we look forward to breaking down some NBA playoffs. Maybe we'll put some games on. We'll do a little watch it with us action next week. We'll see how these games line up. Maybe we'll have a game on while we're on, and we'll do a little bit of that. We'll have some fun. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for hanging out with us. We're back here doing this thing. I don't know who this dude is, but he's a monster of a gentleman.
Oh my God.
And he just put down Samoa Joe, who has just won a title. This is why they paid for extra time on television. I wanted to see what was going on here. I have no idea who that giant man is, but he's pretty effing big. Jesus. He makes Samoa Joe look like a baby, like an infant. Holy crap. Well, we don't do a wrestle. He's like Cro-Magnon, man. Look at that forehead.
The missing link.
Oh my gosh. Like if there are true giants, this one just fell of a fucking beanstalk. Holy crap, guys. Whatever you do, don't ever be that large. My gosh, you'll never fit in a car. We'll see you guys next week. Same bad time, same bad channel.
Peace out, brothers.
You're listening to Studio 57 Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57